My next guest made the point on this show a couple of weeks back that since 1997 the UK has been ruled by one continuous new Labour government. The only remotely conservative policy they have enacted was Brexit, after a fashion, and that was imposed on them by outside forces that they then spent years trying to subvert. On the other hand, just 3 years ago, incredible as it seems, Brexit, or the combination of Brexit and a charismatic opportunist as leader, won them their biggest majority in half a century, basically. Dr. David Starkey is back with us. David, what do you make? I mean, we should point out, as you surely know, that she has to hang on for a bit. I think for another 2 months, just to equal the shortest reign of any British Prime Minister.
True, but we're in extraordinary times. Remember, the Romans had a year of 4 emperors. We've just had a decade, 4 prime ministers, and we're almost certainly going to have a year of 3. Now, this points to absolutely fundamental things that are going wrong. I think the first of them, clearly, this is a Tory problem within the Tory Party. As you've been describing it, the Tory Party doesn't believe in anything. It is a chaos of rival factions, all of whom hate each other rather more than they actually hate the opposition. So it's disintegrating into factions. And there are reasons for this. I mean, the pride of so many Conservatives right from the beginning, really, was that conservatism is a kind of tradition. And of course, we're flexible. We are practical people. And the result is, of course, if you have a party without any fundamental bedrock, it's like that wonderful remark about G.K. Chesterton. Once you stop believing in God, you don't believe in nothing, you believe in anything. As the Tory party doesn't believe in nothing, well, it believes in anything. This extraordinary chaos which we have. There are particular figures, I think, that are responsible for this. David Cameron and George Osborne have an enormous responsibility because of the deliberate saying, oh, we don't want old-fashioned Tory candidates, who might actually have a few old-fashioned Tory ideas. We want, Cameron's cuties. Anybody who looks fashionable, is a little bit diverse, has the odd touch of something or another. So that's part of the story. And then where do we continue? Leaders that are chosen oddly and that also lack conviction. You were talking about Boris. Boris fundamentally believed in only one thing, himself. I would say probably the same is true of Cameron and the same is true of Theresa May, and certainly also of, I'm almost forgetting her name. Can you remind me of the? Well, she's called Liz Truss, isn't she? Anyway, these are little tiny people. They're little tiny people, and at least Boris had something of the manner of a prime minister in the sense of the rhetoric. Theresa May had a little bit in the sense of gravitas. David Cameron had, that superficial smoothness, but finally, we've got the absolute reductio ad absurdum. We've got somebody who's got no quality of a prime minister. I was astonished, actually, listening to my dear friend, and who is the organizer of an organization that I believe passionately in, the Free Speech Union, saying he'd actually voted Liz. I took one look at both she and Sunak in that first debate and thought, frankly, I can't